Welcome to Nourished. I'm Caitlin Hatch. Today's movement is called the arch and curl. This is an expansion on what we learned in a previous lesson called the arch and flatten, but we're adding in full flexion to the movement. So go ahead and lie down on your mat with your knees bent, about hips distance width apart. We're going to put our hands and interlace them behind our heads. And we're going to break this movement up into two parts. So we'll first go into the arch, just like in our arch and flatten. We're going to inhale and roll the pelvis forward, tailbone pushes gently into the mat. The shoulders are weighted into the mat gently, and the chin comes down toward the chest. And then slow motion, letting gravity help do the work of releasing the muscles of the back of the body, coming all the way back to your place of rest, or what we call neutral. We're going to pause here at neutral. Take an extra breath if you need to really make sure that back is turned off, because in order to go into the curl, those muscles of the back of the body need to be soft so that they can lengthen. If they're still tight and contracted, and then we try to contract the front of our body to curl up, we're going to have a bit of a tug of war between the two sides. So take that extra breath if you need it to really make sure the back muscles are turned off. Inhale here at neutral, and as you exhale, start to sink the belly button down. The pelvis starts to roll up, keeping the pelvis on the ground, but the tailbone just starts to lift up, and the pelvis is actually rolling up toward the head. You're going to curl your arms up to frame your face, and then curl yourself on up, bringing the pubic bone and sternum closer together. This is not a sit-up. We're really concentrating on the muscles of the front of the body contracting and getting shorter as the back muscles are getting longer on the back side of our body. We're also contracting across the chest muscles. So if you're not feeling that, you can just draw your elbows in a little closer together to see if you can feel the pectoral muscles contracting a little bit. And then slow motion, start to release the muscles of the front of the body. Slowly letting those shoulders and elbows come back down to the mat. Taking your time. If you notice you feel jumpy, jerky, shaky with your arms on the release, that's what we call sensory motor amnesia. That's where the brain doesn't have total control over those muscles. So if you feel that, just take an extra moment, go back into the contraction a little bit, just past where you felt that jump, jerk, or shake, and try to, again, release smoothly with your breath. The more you practice this, the more time you're giving your brain to learn how to control those muscles again. So it's on the release that we're learning something new. We go into the contraction just to wake the brain up and get the brain paying attention to the group of muscles we're working with. But it's on the release that we are learning how to move our body differently. Our brain is figuring out how to do this movement in a different way. And then that third step of the pandiculation is rest, pausing at neutral, so that the brain has time to integrate the new movement it just learned. So go ahead again, inhaling, rolling the pelvis forward, arching the back, chin comes down toward the chest. You only have to arch as far as is comfortable. If you make the movement too big, you might end up going into pain or discomfort, and that's not doing anybody any good. So only go as far into the contraction as you need to pay attention to that group of muscles, and then really start the work on the release. That slow, controlled release, paying attention to every muscle in the back of the body, making sure you've really turned that back off. when you get back to your place of rest. And ask yourself, am I holding tension anywhere right now while I'm relaxed? Am I still holding tightness in my shoulders, or am I gripping with my toes? Am I still holding on with my glute muscles, and can I release those? So take a little scan before you move into the curl part of the movement. And when you're ready, on your next exhale, we're going to start to blow the air out of our belly, and it's going to help start to sink the belly down toward the mat. And that tailbone's going to lift gently and roll that pelvis forward. You're going to end up drawing the sternum down toward the pubic bone as you fold your arms to curl yourself on up. Again, only going as far as you need to feel the contraction in the front of the body and across the chest. And then slow motion, start to release. And allow gravity to help float those elbows down. Taking your time, breathing as much as you need to. We never want to hold our breath. We want to use our breath to help release the contractions that we've created. And then pause here at neutral. If this is uncomfortable for anyone's shoulders to be this flat on the floor, go ahead and use a block or a pillow so that when you come down, you can fully release without straining or stretching the muscles in the front of the body. Because this is only going to cause your body to want to contract more, to not go past this place of comfort into a stretch that might do more damage or create more pain. So use props if you need to. So I'll show you one more time with shoulder props here. I'm going to go into the contraction of the arch, sinking that tailbone down into the mat. Shoulder blades are maybe weighted down into the mat a little bit. And then slow motion release. Coming back to center, pausing here. On your next exhale, sink the belly, pelvis rolls forward up toward the head. Curl your arms to frame your face and curl yourself on up. Make sure your glute muscles are not turned on here. We're not using the muscles of the back of the body. So if your glute muscles are turned on, can you let those go? Do you really need to use those muscles to contract the front of your body? And then slow motion release. Floating those elbows back down. Don't give up that last 10% of the release. That's where a lot of our sensory motor amnesia hides. Pause there. And that is the arch and curl. Thanks for joining. See you next time.